Kelly Davis, and I am the planning director with the Berkeley Group. And Greensville County has engaged our group to help you all through your comprehensive plan update process. The Berkeley Group is a group of planning professionals. We are based here in Virginia, and we do work in localities all throughout Virginia and beyond. The purpose of tonight is really to kick off your comprehensive plan update by engaging the community, you all that are here today, and gathering input and feedback that we can use to develop the plan. As a quick overview of tonight, I'll start off with a brief introduction to our team before we dive into the overall agenda. Again, my name is Kelly Davis, and with me tonight I have Melissa Scott. She'll be walking you through the overall comprehensive planning update process. I also have with me Erin Berryhill, who will be taking photos and available to answer any questions that you all have. So in terms of our agenda for tonight, we'll start with a brief presentation that will talk about the purpose of the comprehensive plan and overview of the process. But the main portion of tonight's event, if you will, is the small group exercise. And so we've got some folks out in the public, and when we get to that point, we'll talk about ways that if you're not comfortable participating in the group and just want to participate at your own seat, we can accommodate that as well. After the small group exercise, we'll get together, we'll report out results, and then talk about next steps and how you can talk to your neighbors and others about continuing to participate in this process. And with that, I'll turn it over to Melissa.
Thank you, Kelly. Again, thanks for coming tonight. We're excited to have you here with us to help formulate a vision for the comprehensive plan for Greensville County. So what is a comprehensive plan? A comprehensive plan is a community-guided vision for the physical development of a locality. It showcases the locality's assets and also its areas for improvement. It's a practical roadmap to achieve identified vision and goals, and I highlighted vision because that's what we're going to concentrate on tonight, and it's legally required by Virginia State Code. So what's in the comprehensive plan? The topics to be explored in the plan are land use, transportation, natural resources, demographics, housing, culture and history, economy, public facilities. Those are just some of the topics that can be addressed. But tonight, the main focus, as I said, is a vision. So we would like you to think about your community's vision as they relate to all of these things. So why update the plan? Well, things in natural and the built environment change over time. The local priorities and vision changes with time, and strategies to achieve your identified vision and goals have to be adjusted to accommodate that. And again, it's legally required by Virginia State Code. So what has changed? What we're going to look at in the comprehensive plan overall is what kind of new development has been going on in Greensville County. Were your goals and objectives met from the last plan? Did the policy guide your development from the last plan? And do you need new visions and goals and strategies for this new decade or 20-year plan? How are elements addressed and updated in this plan? So all of the topics that I talked about before, we will be looking at the existing conditions of those and looking at what needs to be updated, like we said, incorporate the new future vision that you all are hopefully going to help us come up with, and the goals and the objectives to meet each of the goals for those areas. And then we're going to create new implementation strategies for you to help the county meet those goals. And we'll be revising the future land use map to go along with that. So the project scope, meaning like how we go through this whole process, is that we review the plans that the county has right now, including the previous comprehensive plan. We look to the public for input. We do workshops and surveys, and this is the first 2 workshops. We will do a land use and transportation analysis draft the plan elements and the land use map, and then come up with implementation strategies for the county to help you meet your goals. And then, again, the public will come back and review what we've come up with, we can refine it, and then finally, we'll have a public hearing and adoption of the plan. So who's involved? The community, public officials, planning commission, groups, regional groups, board of supervisors, builders and developers, local businesses, advocacy groups, and most of all, you are. You're the community and you're involved in this process. How are you involved? Well, right now we have, we're doing the workshop number 1 tonight, and we'll have workshop number 2. We were talking about this earlier, tentatively on October 28th. So please mark that and keep an eye on the website to make sure that's the date that we finalize. We will meet with stakeholders in the community. We have an online survey right now that you can fill out, and Treva also has some paper copies of that you can take with you. It really breaks down detailed questions about the community. And then at the end, we will have an open house after we finish the plan, so you can review that. So, what is your role in these workshops, and what is our role? You need to help us determine the community's strengths and challenges as you see them. So we have provided this opportunity for you to do that. We'd like you to identify the community's needs and desires, and we'll help provide guidance and context for that process. And then we would like you to define your vision for the future of this community, and we'll help you clarify that and target it toward the comprehensive plan. And then we would like, in the next workshop, we'll start focusing on the details. So we'll get more into the goals that will help achieve the vision that you come up with from tonight. And we will formulate objectives and strategies to help meet those goals while we write the plan. So just to go over the next steps, right now we have the community survey open, and I'll give you that website. I think it's at the bottom of your agenda too. We'll have the stakeholder interviews October 28th as well, and we're formulating a list for that. It's business leaders, groups, boards in the community, things like that. We'll do public input workshop number 2. I have November, but we're going to shoot for the end of October, like I said. And we'll be working all winter and into the spring drafting this plan. We'll be having joint workshops or work sessions with the Board of Supervisors and the Planning Commission throughout that process, pretty much bi-monthly, so they can kind of monitor the chapters as we go through them, give us feedback. And then in the summer, we will have a public open house with the final draft of the plan that you will have access to and be able to review that and comment on that. And we'll incorporate the final revisions in the fall of 2021, and then have the public hearings and adoption, hopefully before 2022. Hopefully that will happen in the winter of 2021. So that's just kind of an overall of the process. But again, here's the community survey website. We need your input. Please tell your family and friends to also take this survey and be engaged in the process. And of course, anyone who wants to come to the next workshop who didn't come to this one, it's fine. We'll be focusing on something a little more detailed, a little different anyway, so that'll be great. So again, I think both of these websites are on their agenda, so please tell everyone to go to fill out these surveys and stay engaged. So I think we're going to start our community workshop in groups right now. Let Kelly tell you a little bit more about how that's going to work.
Yeah, so before we dive into the workshop exercise, I have a few slides here to just explain the questions in a little bit more detail. And like I said, this is a workshop, so everybody's gonna work a little bit tonight, but hopefully the questions are gonna be fairly easy since you all should know your community and be able to, give us the feedback that we need. It's really important. This is your community's plan to guide the future over the next 10 to 20 years. So the first 2 questions really focus on strengths of the community and challenges that are facing the community. So So we're asking, what makes Greensville County unique? What does the county do well? And then what challenges does the community face? What assets or resources are lacking? What outside threats is the community facing that might impact Greensville County over the next 10 to 20 years? The next question is, taking those challenges and those strengths, what kind of goals or improvements does the county need to address? What should the county focus on improving over the next 5, 10 to 20 years? And then the final question is pulling all of that together to draft a vision statement for your community. And so we have some guidance in your packet about what a vision statement is, and really some examples in there, and even kind of a form vision that you can fill out to help start to articulate what you hope that Greensville County would be in the year 2040. So we're being very forward-looking here, an aspirational vision for the community that will ultimately guide all of the different goals and strategies that are included in the comprehensive plan. So that's just a brief overview to the questions. These questions are included in your packet, and there are some additional questions or conversation starters, if you will, to guide and to get you thinking about these different questions. And so kind of leaving it there for this small group exercise, we would ask that everyone stick around that is here today and participate in the exercise. And like I said, if you're concerned about social distancing, we have set these tables up in accordance with the governor's orders to maintain the 6 foot, 8 foot separation distance. If you're not interested in sitting at the tables, but you would like to either talk, 1 or 2 people together in these chairs, we can accommodate that. But certainly the tables will be easier to write, and we will be collecting the exercises at the end. Are there any questions kind of before we start? All right. If you're out in kind of what I'll call the audience, are you folks going to plan to stay out here in the audience rather than come to the table? How about over here? Going to stay in the audience? Okay. Does anybody need any pens then if you're out there in the audience? We can come around and just make sure that everybody has everything that they need. And I'll just, again, reiterate that this is your community, and this is an opportunity to think about big picture ways that things that your community needs. And it really is the guiding document for infrastructure investments, facility investments, land use and development. So these are the kinds of things that we're asking you all to think about today and give us some feedback so that we can draft a plan that reflects what this community needs. All right, so with that, if you're at the tables, feel free. We kind of have it set up that you can talk in a group of 4 at the table. If you're out in the audience, again, kind of how you want to, what you're comfortable with out in the audience. You're going to answer individually or by yourselves. But we will have a report out time period allotted, and we'll give you a little heads up on times when we need to move on to the next question. All right.
Good. Great. And we're here for questions. If you have any questions at all or need any input, and we do have some maps in the back. If you have any questions, we have the growth areas, service areas that were established in the last comprehensive plan. If you'd like to see those, just raise your hand and we'll bring them over.
Thank you. You're welcome to move on to question 2, if you haven't already.
Number 4.
Excellent.
Mission statement.
Oh, yeah.
grab up question 2 if you haven't, and move on to question 3 in the next 1 or 2 minutes.
I was gonna ask, is there like a competition between the city and the county to have development? Like, is there like a different tax rate?
So to wrap it up, we're just gonna have everyone read the statement that they came up with, so we can kind of see what everyone's thinking. Okay. So we're gonna go through all the questions so we can get the answers for all of those. So if you could just tell us what your answers were to each of the questions, and then read your vision statement, so everyone can kind of get an idea of what the other groups were thinking. Start out with, is anyone completely ready? I think a couple of people might still be writing.
Question number one, discuss the strengths of communication. Lawton and I elaborated on this. We have a great transportation system, railroad access, access to water. We have hospitals, 1,500-acre industrial park, an airport, a strong agricultural base. Do each question separate?
Yeah, please.
We're done.
And then you didn't have a vision statement, right?
I did. Lawson and I worried on this a lot, and I read the last one on this page here, and I think it's quite fitting. It says that conservation-minded community with valuable natural resources and recreational opportunities. The county will support growth that fits our rural character, sustain our thriving agricultural economy, and strive to become a destination for visitors. That's a little bit, we could adjust that, but new residents and green business while achieving better quality of life for all of the citizens of our diverse community.
That's good. You make your adjustment there as to what you think that should be. We do want to take these up, so make sure that you hand these in the table back there before you leave. So next group, to the board of supervisors group over here, do you want to go? Okay. I guess, go ahead.
So, can you hear me? So we will start with the first question and go through read down. We come up with discuss the strengths of the community, as Mr. Robinson pointed out, location, your 95-58 corridor, other strengths or volunteer strengths. You got your local fire department, local volunteer rescue squad, YMCA, EGRA. You've got a rail system, you've got an airport, and you've got available marketable land. For the second item, discuss the top challenges facing the community. One big limitation that I see is the county limited land use. You're not creating a welcoming environment for anybody outside that doesn't know anything about our community. You're not creating an inviting atmosphere. Your schools, new construction, it looks like we're a little behind on bringing these schools up to par, bringing where they need to be. Some of these schools in the same, I believe, unless they've changed since I was last there. Belfield, we still use Belfield School. Belfield, I'm sure the boys' bathroom looks just like it did over 40 years ago when I rolled through that. I'd love to find prove me wrong about that. And then you've got, and I don't, this would be a bad session for that, but we've got supervisors that got good intentions, or we've got supervisors that are not working in harmony with each other. We need some supervisors that take advantages of the strengths within the county. We've got one heck of an administration from the top all the way to, people that are operating these man dumpster sites. There are people like that. I think the supervisors need to take advantage of these people and get knowledge and experience they've got and run with that, and kind of need to leave some of those personal agendas. Those personal items might suit and serve their purpose well, but I would think the intent for them to go in out, they need to be serving to the community. So we need to kind of work on that and make the people that come and look at our county, whether they're coming in, whether it's sundown, or maybe they're looking at it on Facebook, any other social media, but they're seeing that kind of put off a sense of not having good relations amongst ourselves. If we can't work with each other, how are we gonna attract people that we don't know? Closing deals for industry, you know, there are a lot of issues there. And one of the big problems is what industry wants to come with nobody to work in it. Nobody wants to come and locate here because we've got sort of a dysfunctional school system. And I feel that in this room, I can probably discuss the school system probably as openly as anybody, and nobody can say anything short of derogatory because I went through the school system from the start to the finish. My 3 children went through the system from start to finish. I'm very committed to it. I believe in the school system. There's some wonderful teachers that have been here. They just need, they need the extra assistance, to kind of get us where we need to be. So schools would be a big start of getting these industries here. Conversation starter. What issues need to be addressed? The first item we can come up with was your limited land use, as we talked about. The limited visions of those that not again in the administration, but those that are there in the seats that make a difference. Those seats that say yay or nay to an industry or a private business or any of that's very limited to us. It's holding this community back. You know, once again, let's go back to the crossroads where we are, 95 and 58. There is no reason why that the population of this area, you've got the minimal amount of home ownership, and you've got these high rates of tenant occupied houses. I myself, I'm part of that situation. I build houses. I realize that people won't buy them, they will rent them. So we're trying to do our part to serve the community. Agriculture. I'm sure Mr. Robinson, Mr. Ferguson, all of them can speak to this. Agriculture is not what it was. Who knows if it'll ever be again? Surely what it was once before. Can't say that I follow because it's mighty depressing to work for something all year and something as critical as rain, oil, market pricing, COVID, any COVID. That's a big word now. We'll never forget that one. So I mean, the agriculture, they suffered tremendously. Don't ever see that coming back to what it was. Top goals to improve the county for the next 10 to 20 years. Improving our schools, business experience, representatives. I mean, just people get out here and, like I said, I don't want to be the dead horse, but get out here and engage with your resources and business owners. You tell this to me right now, y'all don't know me. I love to talk. And I don't have all the answers, but I make you think when you go home and play jazz. They need to open themselves up to some of that dialogue. Invite industry-minded consultants, people in here pushing things, sending that message home. And all of that's great too, but then it goes right back around to square one, the schools. You can't man these facilities without people, and people aren't coming here to raise their children. It's starting life. Let's see, the next conversation starter. One of the things the county should work to achieve in the next 20 years. Back again to first thing our supervisors working together, working for the development of the community, and need those personal agendas where you started out and you didn't go home. Y'all know my wife wrote this and I'm just reading it. The conversation starter, a vision statement. We will be a forward-thinking community, centrally located, creating a central hub attracting industry and business while sustaining our community's economy. We should strive to enhance all of our local resources and at the same time not go out here and rip our little community apart of what the base is, but This is an ever-changing world we're living in. People's needs change. And unless we want to sit on the sidelines and get left behind, we need to somewhat be very mindful, be very respectful for all of our citizens, but we need to kind of corral them in that direction to help the next 20 years be as good as the last 20 years. Look at this facility that we sit on here tonight. 20 years, there was a vision. I'm scared we don't have a vision. I'm scared that I'm gonna come out here in 20 years and the paint's gonna peel off the walls, the flooring's gonna be as it is tonight. We're gonna be lucky to have kept what we got, much less develop something new. That's my biggest fear.
All right, thank you. That was a great vision statement. Very passionate. Appreciate that. All right, the next group over here.
Well, so much of what Clint said, I can just say, we agree. So you're gonna hear a lot of the same language. Statement one, discuss the strengths of the community. Believe it or not, Greensville County is extremely very family oriented. We have a strong potential to have great athletic and recreational activities and programs, and it's a large faith-based community that wants to support. However, we need guidance on how to maneuver through the ins and the outs and go between. The conversation started what unique access do we have. We do have access to our board of supervisors, meetings, school boards, planning agendas and things of such. And we make great developmental plans, but it's just implementing them is what the what has been challenging. So, number 2, discuss the top challenges facing the community. Knowledge of funding opportunities in our county, knowledge of what is needed to improve and maintain, I didn't write this down, and maintain a good level of SOL scores, youth involvement programs, adequate housing, and rent-to-own opportunities. So the conversation started would be, what funding is available to promote growth in our county and making sure that we work towards and just have an attitude of oneness, everybody working together for the same goals. And so sometimes funding is available, but the criteria is set so high that it's unattainable. Number 3, what are the top goals or improvements that the county should focus on in the next 10 to 20 years to identify the needs of the community, to increase educational funding, to build and develop athletic programs, to have for-profit entertainment industries, commercialism, bowling alleys, movie theaters, anything that's going to bring more money and funding into the county that we can use to continue to build and grow. And so we got sidetracked and didn't put a real vision statement together, but some of the language that we would want to hear in the vision statement would include words such as more industries, opportunities, realistic goals. And I'm gonna say, when I say realistic goals, this is a beautiful place. However, recently the renting of this building has been skyrocketed so that so many people now are going outside of the community to rent to have their small functions. Things like that, makes it difficult. Enhanced commercialism, property and land use, and then I put in here, I need a resort or a spa in the county so I don't have to keep traveling up the street. And we need to be a thriving community, but we need to also be open-minded.
Thank you. All right, so that's a lot of the same information. That's good. Good cohesiveness there. This group in the back, would you like to go ahead? Yeah.
I am not reading my own work here. Okay. A lot of the same things. The top strengths of the community, of course, the highway system, the location, the mega site, nearby recreational facilities, the rail is here, even though it is not used for, private personal use. And then Golden Leaf Commons is also a strength. Under the second question, the challenges, the educational system, lack of economic development and marketing, lack of entrepreneurial development, a mindset of shopping local needs improvement. Land use, commercial industrial provides jobs. That's what we need to do with land. Additional comments about challenges. There needs to be better management of utility opportunities through proper or effective zoning initiatives. We also need to seek and improve more recreational opportunities. The goals for the county should focus on upgrading the education facilities, offering high-tech skill development through a high-tech center, improve secondary roads throughout the county, support home ownership. This vision statement was, Greensville County will strive to develop strategically by growing economic opportunities and job creation, the quality of life, and providing sustaining high-quality educational facilities to all residents, young and old.
Great, thank you. This group over here?
Okay, a lot of the same things as we said before. We have, this is from this group back here. Good location with I-95 and Highway 58 intersection are strengths of the community. Moderate weather patterns conducive to living here. Strong presence of Dominion Power in our county with approval of 3 solar projects and the power plant we have here. Good police, fire department, and rescue squads. Volunteer, most of them except for the police force. Strong agricultural, and we also have Georgia Pacific. The challenges facing the community: need more educated and skilled workforce, lack of recreation opportunities, lack of retail businesses for shopping, need improvements in the school system. Number 3, the top goals, we had school system needs that need to be addressed, and then attracting more business, which in turn hopefully brings more people, more everything. We didn't really have a vision statement, so that's all we have.
Okay, all right, well, thank you, appreciate that.
Okay, what I had, for some of our strengths were, we're located with great access to major highways, airport, and rail. We have a workforce development center. We are here with the community college systems. We have strong family values, and we have our NAMEC sites. For our challenges, we're broadband, better educational structures, entertainment, youth engagement, and technology. For the goals and improvements, in order of importance, I have broadband, schools, entertainment, and industry are on the same level. And then for a vision statement, I wrote, as a constantly changing community with strong family values, Greensville County will support growth, sustain our unique community offerings, and strive to become a closer bound community while achieving economic growth and educational excellence for our citizens.
Thank you very much. Some really good ideas for us to consider. I did have one quick question. We have just a few minutes. I heard some people saying that recreation was a strength and others saying it was a weakness. I think you said it was a weakness, right?
I think I said strength.
Oh, you said strength?
I said potential for a strong athletic and recreational activity.
Okay. So, and, I was just, weird that it was a weakness. Okay. Do you want to elaborate on that at all so you kind of understand that a little better?
Well, there is none. I said before at some of the meetings growing up.
We can hear you.
I said there is basically none. Growing up, I said this at some of our meetings that we had other public hearings. Growing up, there was several movie theaters, there was a bowling alley, there was, at one time, there was a skating rink when my children were younger. There was a swimming pool, a couple of swimming pools. There may be one swimming, the CYC may still have a swimming pool. I don't know. But anyway, all that's gone.
So you were kind of thinking about the commercial end of recreation.
Yeah, and-
Okay, entertainment, which is, yeah, okay.
And I don't know if y'all were at some of the meetings I've been at, but I worked in real estate years ago, and it was just depressing because so many times you get a business that wants to come here. Sometimes they came, sometimes they didn't come because their top people did not want to live here because there was nothing to attract them. Shopping, recreational, housing, none of that.
Like,
So
great.
it's the things that were here years ago when I was a lifelong member, resident, they're gone. And it doesn't appear that they're gonna come back, given the current atmosphere of school system. The school system is really why a lot of people decided not to come here when I worked in real estate. They just, when they looked at schools and researched it, they said, we're not coming here. So.
So we thank you guys for coming tonight and giving us your time and putting some effort into this exercise. We, like I said, we hope you'll come back for the next workshop, which will be October 28th. Please tell your friends and family and you yourselves, go fill out the survey and keep looking at the website for all the updates that we'll have on the plan. And I think that's about it. Anything else, Kelly?
We will summarize all of the results like Melissa said earlier. So just as a reminder, we want your hard copies. So we'll provide all of that and be able to post that on the website too, so that everybody can see that information. So again, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for participating. We know that these are difficult circumstances, but this is really important nonetheless. So thank you. And anything else?
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know, on our county website, we have a special section for the comp plan update. That's where you'll find that survey that's so important in developing, the new comp plan. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, I think you can email or link to different people if you have a group email set up, but we really need to get the public to participate in that survey. So like I said, it can be found on the website. You have people who don't have access to computers, we have paper copies too.
If you want to tear off the agenda and keep that part, that will give you those websites. And then just hand in your exercises with the writing on it. We would appreciate that. All right, thanks a lot.
All right.